Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Peter. Oh,
How are
great.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing
Busy.
very well.
Busy, probably, right?
I'm really sorry. It's some of the meetings just come in very important. I had to take them. I'm really sorry for postponing our call. So, how are you?
That's really no problem, really. I know that you're a busy man, and I really appreciate that you take the time out of your busy schedule to actually talk to me. That is
Oh,
just really, really kind of you.
no problems. Where are you? Are you in Germany or Netherlands?
No, I'm in Germany right now.
Germany. Okay. Are you German?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Okay.
I
All
am,
right.
yeah, I'm German actually. Right here
Okay.
in East Germany right now,
Oh, okay.
conducting all the research for my thesis.
For your
Yes,
thesis. Wow. Okay.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
I just want to let you know beforehand that I'm recording this call just for me to afterwards listen to it and transcribe all the content, so for me to actually be able to remember all of it.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna just start by just talking about what my intent is for this interview. As you've read before, I'm actually studying business model innovation in emerging markets, and I have selected a couple of cases that I find very interesting or that were very successful in emerging markets. And this is from household devices to pharmaceuticals to mobile payment. So very different cases in very different markets, ranging from India to African countries to Asian countries. And Mpesa was one of the cases that I've selected because it was very interesting to me. And then I was searching for contacts on LinkedIn. And why I stuck with you actually is because what struck me most about your profile is that you said you want to replicate M-Pesa's success to Nigeria.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And this is why I've looked at your website, Virtual Terminal Network website. And for
Yes.
me, of course, this is really interesting because you must know a lot about M-Pesa and the entire business model and the success factors and everything to want to replicate it and maybe even make it better.
Definitely. Actually, we want to make it better.
Okay.
But people when they see that you want to replicate, emphasize a success story, right? So when people hear when you say you want to do more, then people start wondering how. But when you say you want to replicate the success story, then it kind of resonates more with people. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay. No, great. I found it really impressive actually, and like everything that was on the website, and it's quite fascinating. The entire industry is quite fascinating. So much going on.
It is. A lot is going on. When you look at M-Pesa, for example, it should be very easy to replicate M-Pesa in Nigeria. And few things you have to look into is number one, the GDP of Nigeria compared to Kenya. Uh, Nigeria is definitely more, bigger, 500 billion to 60 billion. And you look at the population as well. Population of Kenya today is about 43, 44 million. Nigeria is about, between 170 to 180 million. Uh, so you're looking at times four or times four of the population of Kenya. Then another factor is you look at the mobile phone subscribers in Nigeria. In Kenya, again, is about close to about, uh, 40 million, 42, 43 million in that range. In Nigeria today is about 170 million. However, active mobile phones about 145 million in Nigeria. Uh, so when you look at all those, you know, necessary uh, factors that could make mobile payment work, then you realize that Nigeria can actually do better than Kenya because we have the population, we have the money, we have the more bank customers, we have the more mobile phone users, and so the question is, why is mobile payment in Nigeria is not doing better than Kenya? So we have our own what we believe is the reason, but in terms of replicating the success in Nigeria, we believe is definitely doable based on those factors that I mentioned to you.
Okay, so you mean like the basic settings in Nigeria are great. But what do you, well, first of all, why do you think M-Pesa was so successful in Kenya at first? How did it, like, it was just such a huge success. I think it was started in 2007 and it's still going on now and it's still going strong, right?
Yes, yes. Now everybody has, different take on that, right? But from my perspective, because I started building this platform in 2007. At the time, I didn't even know what M-Pesa. I've never heard of M-Pesa at the time. It was about a year into building our platform that I learned about M-Pesa. So, uh, so, but your question is, why do I think M-Pesa is, you know, is so successful in Kenya?
Yeah.
Now, this is somebody that is not living in Kenya. I'm just in the industry, so I'll give you my take.
Okay.
Right. Uh, number one, the number one reason that I believe that M-Pesa is so successful in Kenya is the regulatory regime at the time. Mobile payment in Kenya was not regulated at the time. That's number one. Number two, the company that rolled this out, Safaricom, owned about, if I'm correct, about probably 80% market share at the time. And when mobile payment is rolled out by a telecom operator, basically telecom operator that basically has a monopoly, if you will, of the telecom service, then it's very easy for them to push the message out to anybody on their SMS or USSD to learn about the service. Number one. Number two, uh, this telecom service, I mean Safaricom at the time, was also able to allow people to buy airtime using their cell phone, which has never been done before. So now you have millions of people on your network, and all of a sudden you have the power to tell them to buy their airtime uh, using M-Pesa instead of going to the agent to buy airtime. That alone is huge. Now, why that is huge? Personally, I do not believe that people started using M-Pesa in Kenya just because they want to send money to somebody. No. I mean, what is going on around the world has shown that people just don't put money on mobile wallet just for the fun of it. They put money on mobile wallet because they want to buy something. They want to pay for something. They are compelled to do it. So now, when you have Safaricom that says, hey, Kenyans, you have the option of going to an agent to buy your airtime, or you have the option of buying it from the comfort of your own home using your mobile phone. Guess what? People are going to try it. So once they try it, they realize that, okay, even at 10 p.m., 8 p.m., I'm sorry, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., I'm able to buy airtime. Not only that, I'm even able to send airtime to, my loved ones, my parents or whatever. Now, guess what? People now realize there's value here. Then they will be able to move more money into it. Then they will realize, once they realize that this service is safe, is secure, then when Safaricom now begins to push the send money aspect, it was a no-brainer because even if you don't know what to use it for in terms of sending money to somebody, everybody understands the concept of airtime. And once you're able to try the airtime, it works, then it becomes very easy for you to trust the platform to put a little bit of money in it and try to send to somebody. So the whole thing worked together. Now, so for me, number one reason is because it was started by the biggest telecom that had no competition at the time, and also I believe the airtime actually was the driving force. That is my belief. I mean, there are other rule of thought out there that believe that Safaricom started with, the unbanked, using it to pay for, to repay loans and things like that. I don't believe that that was the main catalyst. I believe the main catalyst was the ability, was the airtime initially. Once the airtime works, then people started trusting it, and they realized that we can send money to somebody on the platform. So that's our theory about M-Pesa.
Okay, great. That's okay. It's very different from what I've read so far, but it's a very different and interesting, like different take on it.
Right.
That it's actually the airtime that was so important, and not only this, because you always read about this sending money home. That was like the main reason.
Well, you mean sending money home from
Like
from capital in Kenya to the village or
yeah,
from abroad?
exactly.
Well. Okay. See, the idea of sending money home, remember that when you send money home, where would they pick the money up? So you're looking at a situation whereby nobody wants to start unless there's an agent that is going to pay out. And remember, airtime agents are different from mobile money agents. From our experience, you realize that a lot of airtime agents are not capable of carrying out financial services. So that tells me that when somebody in the capital of Kenya, for example, when somebody is sending money to somebody in the village, the likelihood that the agent there is not set up to pay out is very high. So that theory that it started from there, in our view, we believe that that is after it started gaining ground. Once people realize that they can actually buy airtime from it. Remember, the concept of airtime is very appealing, and I'll explain to you why. If you call me or text me and say, "Hey, Peter, I don't have airtime. Please send me some credit," I can send you airtime. In a way, I'm sending you money. Now, sometimes you might say, "Hey, Peter, uh, thanks for the airtime. Please, can you just send me additional 100 shillings?" Now, I've tried it. I realized that, I sent you airtime, then I'll try with a little bit of money. So the 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 um, the airtime for us is very key, because what we're seeing is that in Nigeria, for example, the initial set of people that are adopting mobile payment are actually the sophisticated ones, the banked ones, those who have bank accounts, and those who have, you know, what's it called, smartphones, iPad, and things like that. The question they ask us is, okay, we want to send money home to somebody in the village. How is that person going to receive the money? And you realize that in the villages, you don't have a lot of agents that can provide financial services. Uh, there are agents for airtime in the villages. They just buy a little bit of airtime that can sustain their community, but they don't have the capability, the technical savviness to be able to operate mobile payment in the village. So we believe it's the same thing in Kenya, whereby the economic incentive is just not there for all these agents to be ready day one to service everybody in the village. So you begin to wonder how that could be the propelling factor in Kenya. So from Nigerian perspective, from our experience, we realize that uh, uh, the early adopters are in the in the towns, in the cities, in the big cities, and the villagers are going to be next. And in order for them to uh, once the people in big cities are comfortable with the service, and then once they know that there are agents in those villages, countryside to service them, they will start sending money to them.
So basically, it was offering a service that had not a lot of risk involved, like buying the airtime. And once the trust towards the company became greater, then like money services were actually done with M-Pesa. Like,
That is our belief.
okay, so you think that like the trust towards the company is really important then?
Oh, trust is really important. Very, very important. In a place like Nigeria, whereby um, people don't trust, a lot of people just don't trust each other, right? And so anything that has to do with money, people are kind of wary. So if you're a new company that is providing this service, it's going to take a while for people to trust you. Let me give you an example. If MTN, for example, has started mobile money in Nigeria, which they did in in partnership with some of the banks initially, uh, mobile money may have moved faster in Nigeria, assuming MTN is the only company. Why? Because they have, millions and millions of subscribers, and they can push the message on USSD, on SMS to customer, and you realize that people are mobile money is more likely to take off faster if there are few providers, and the providers have the database of customers, and they don't have to start with sending money. You see, our experience in the last few years is that when you ask people to send money, you are doing it the wrong way. You know why? Because there are alternative ways for them to send money today. It may not be efficient, but it is there. So if you're going to change that, then you have to really put in a lot of effort to convince people. And here is why. Um, in the West, it's probably easy for anybody to part with maybe 10 euro, 5 euro, 20 euro to test the service, right? In Africa, in Nigeria, it is not. That 10 euro, that 20 euro might be what that person will rely on for a week. So that person is not going to gamble that money because the person likes, your campaign. And okay, the only money that person relies on for a week is going to put it on the system and hope that he gets to the destination. It's not going to happen. However, if from that 10 euro that person has, if there's a service that say, hey, you can pay me through this mobile wallet, and assuming that person wants that service, then the barrier is broken. Why? Somebody that person trusts is asking him or her to send 1 euro through that service to pay for that service. That is how it should, that is how you get people to use mobile money. That is our strategy in Nigeria. We realize that the more merchants that you have is what is going to really drive this. Asking people, to go and take their last savings and put it on a mobile wallet, it's not going to happen.
Okay, it's like it's very interesting to me that that the M-Pesa model actually was replicated, I think, to Afghanistan and even to like Eastern Europe in like recently, like last year. But like it hasn't really took off. So
Right.
basically, it's like it wasn't really successful in that many other countries. How do
Right.
you think you can actually make the model or make the reconfiguration of your model actually successful in Nigeria?
Okay. You're very correct. Not only that, I might add that even MTN tried the same model in some other African countries, and it's only worked in a few of those other African countries. It's not as been as successful. Now, so you're very correct, and that is the model in Kenya, the M-Pesa model. If M-Pesa should start the model today, it's not going to work. So, so that was just like if Yahoo should come up with the concept of list directory today, it's not going to work.
Okay.
It's not going to work. Why? Because probably your website has better information than Yahoo in those days. So so things are changing. So M-Pesa model will not fly anywhere today. Unfortunately, some of the mobile payment providers are trying to copy that model. That model is in the past, is in the rear view mirror, gone. Today, people are more sophisticated, you know, uh, and the concept of come and send money to somebody now should not even come into the equation at all. You create a compelling case why people should use it. You focus on merchants. Let me give you an example. An example is, let's say you have a merchant that sell airtime, for example. Let me use another merchant. Let's say you have a merchant that sell shoes, for example, and the merchant has probably 10,000 customers, separate from mobile money, 10,000 customers. And then you get the merchants to integrate. You offer incentives, whatever you have to do to get the merchant to integrate your system. Now the merchant is integrated into your system. Guess what the merchant is? And of course, the merchant is integrating, hopefully, to capture your subscriber base. The way we woo customer merchant is we tell them, look, we have 1.8 million subscribers. And if you sign up with us, we are going to announce the relationship to our subscriber. That's all we have to tell them. And merchants that have something to offer immediately, they understand it. So what they do is they sign up, they register, and we do a press release. So once we set the press release out, guess what? These merchants, they just start having new subscribers coming from us, registering for the service, for their service. But guess what the merchant will do without telling them? The merchant, guess what they do? They will now send email to their customers and say, hey, we've partnered with Vcash in Nigeria. Now you can pay us through Vcash. Guess what? Their customers will start registering on our platform as well. So, so what you realize is that there's a potential to turn a good percentage of that 10,000 customers of the merchants into our subscribers, and to turn a few thousand from our database into the merchant, subscribers as well, at least initially. So you realize that uh, uh, once an email goes out from a merchant to their subscribers, they automatically trust that merchant because they've done business with them before. And so they just register on our platform. Then they start learning about what we do. Now, so some of them right away start using our service. Some of them they pay for those services to buy shoes, for example, uh, using our service. Now, so what we then realize is that it is easier to get people to use mobile money when you go through a merchant, because if they want to pay for something, everybody understands that you want to pay for something. It doesn't really matter the channel that you use, so long the channel is available. People don't even think that they are doing mobile payment. As far as they're concerned, they are paying for something. But in our books, mobile payment, this is mobile. We record this as mobile payment transactions. So whereas the M-Pesa model was about send money, there weren't a lot of merchant on M-Pesa when M-Pesa started. As a matter of fact, 2, 3 years into the M-Pesa, there weren't a lot of merchant offering diverse services. It was about airtime and sending money. So That tells me that it is the airtime that actually attracted people, that introduced them to the concept of mobile money. And once it took off, it took off. Now, in other markets like Nigeria, this is about merchants, acquiring merchants. This is about people paying for something. It's not about, I want to store money and then spend it later. I mean, some customers do that, but most of the time it's about paying for an item. Now, what we've done again is to now say, okay, this concept works. Another thing that we need to do is, let's look at this airtime. The concept of airtime in the past is one-on-one relationship. That is, you want to buy, Melanie wants to buy airtime, and if you have money on your wallet, you buy airtime. Or as a matter of fact, some banks in Nigeria, most banks in Nigeria offer airtime service now. So you could pay directly from your bank account. But here's what we did: we realized that we cannot compete using that one-to-one model. So what we did was, we said, okay, we send email to Melanie and say, look, Melanie, we see that you buy airtime almost every day on our platform. You don't have to go through that trouble anymore. You could go to this link, just set it that every 7 a.m. Top up my MTN, top up my Airtel or whatever, and set it once and for all. Guess what? The first time you woke up in the morning, what woke you up probably is the SMS that your airtime has been topped up. So now you don't have to go to the street to buy airtime, or you don't have to log on to our platform to buy airtime. It's there. Then we didn't have to tell customers to put money on the platform, because they know that in order for their airtime to be there when they wake up in the morning, there has to be money on their wallet. Are you following me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So that is the way we think in our company, and that is why we are making good headway, because the concept of expecting people to put money on mobile wallet for no reason, that is not going to work anymore. So you have to offer something compelling to enable people to do that. Then another service that we launched a few days ago is, everybody talk about the unbanked, but with very little solutions. Uh, Everybody wants, see, the reason why you have so many unbanked people is not because they don't want to use the banking services or financial services. It's largely because they don't have that much money to warrant the trouble of having bank account.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Let's say, I mean, if you Google today, you see maybe, most Nigerians live on a couple of dollars a day or something like that. Now, let's say you have somebody with $10 in his pocket, and that $10, out of it is going to eat, is going to buy water, is going to buy toiletries and stuff like that. He doesn't even know where the next one is coming from. And you expect that person to go and put that money, even if that person can afford to put $2 away. Do you really expect that person to see any value in taking $2, getting into the public transport that is going to cost him 50 cents, go to the bank and stay there, the journey that is going to take him 2 hours, just to put $2 there? No. So what happens is that person will spend the money because the value is not compelling. But here's what we're doing differently. Uh, a week and a half ago, we launched a service called Cashless Card to Bank. And the concept is very simple. You buy our cashless card, which is sold by agents on the street or next door to your house. You buy the cashless card, say $2 worth of cashless card. When you get home, you can scratch off the card, go to your mobile wallet, enter the card PIN number, enter your bank account, and $2 will be credited to your bank account in real time.
Oh, okay.
So now You don't have to worry about going to the bank. You don't have to, I mean, for 2 hours, believe it, in Nigeria, to go to the bank and back is 1 to 2 hours. Now, so you don't have to do that anymore. You can even put the money in your bank account anytime. You can even, you may not even send the money to your bank account. You can even send it to bank account of somebody else. But the convenience, the fact that the unbanked can now be able to save or deposit that little amount effortlessly is another way that we are changing the concept of mobile money in Nigeria, for example. Again, people talk about the unbanked, but they're not providing solutions that the banks really want to use, or they're not understanding that these people don't really have a lot of money to play around. So you have to give them a solution that makes sense.
So you basically have to give them like a value proposition that is just really tailored to their needs.
Yes, and it has to be compelling because you have to remember if you are not giving them money, if you're coming up with a solution that is going to take more money away from them, it's not going to work. So you have to give them a solution that is going to make their life easier, solution that is going to save them time. Remember, in Africa, a lot of people are just surviving. So that is a lot of people in the villages. They wake up, they're only concerned about that day. That is surviving that day, and hope for the best for the next day. And so when you have people who don't really have reserves and you're talking to them about financial services, it's not, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't, unless you want to give them money. Now, let me tell you something. If you want the whole country to be using mobile money today, it's very simple. You come up with an initiative to give everybody free money, then everybody will start using mobile money that same day. You know, but because that is not going to happen, so the approach is value proposition in terms of acquiring merchants that people trust, or provide an alternative, provide a service that is going to save people time going to the bank, save them money, and then they will use the service.
Okay. Wow, that was I like the way you're actually like giving examples and everything. It's you're very good at explaining things that are quite
Thank you.
complicated in nature, but and quite complex, but it's very interesting for me. I saw on your website that you're partnering with the Nigerian State Bank, I think, or Central Bank. And I recall that Mpesa at first, and you said it yourself, that the market was not very regulated in the beginning.
Yes.
And as I remember, they also cooperated with the Kenyan National Bank. Um, it just comes up again. Is that like something that is like this kind of partner network? You also said that if you partner up with other companies that already have a like big subscription base, that this builds trust and that this like gives you an advantage. So this partner network, you've mentioned it again and again, is something quite important, right?
Yes. Yes. Very important. Very important. Now, you mentioned something about partnering with Kenya. Do you mean Central Bank of Nigeria partnering with Kenya Central Bank?
No, 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 no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was the Kenyan National Central Bank partnered with M-Pesa in the beginning, like with Safaricom. They partnered to kind of roll this out, or like there was
Yes.
this partnership. And on your website, you also said that you are partnering with the Nigeria Central Bank.
Yes. Yes. I will explain that. Now, for Kenya, the Central Bank of Kenya provides general oversight at the time, but there weren't any real framework for mobile payment in Kenya. That's our understanding. But for Nigeria, The Central Bank of Nigeria waited, I think, 2 or 3 years uh, to come up with a framework. So they waited to see what happens in Kenya. So once the Central Bank of Nigeria realized that, oh, this thing is working in Kenya, then the Central Bank of Nigeria came up with a very, very detailed framework. Now, when you come up with a very, very detailed framework, a service that has never been done in Nigeria, as a matter of fact, most of the players are new to this concept. Everybody understands the value proposition, but most basically didn't have the depth and knowledge. So the central bank came up with a very robust framework, which, I mean, this is a robust framework that even Mpesa will not be able to pass, for Nigeria at the time. So that was roadblock number one.
Okay.
So providers like ourselves, we found ourselves in a situation whereby we had to spend a lot of money, a lot of time to even meet the Central Bank of Nigeria's threshold to be able to receive the license.
Okay.
Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria licensed, there are two batches, actually three batches. About 12 were licensed initially, then about 9 after that, and I think 3 after. So it was done in batches to see how this is going to work out. Then initially, central bank, about 80% of the initial licensed companies were banks, because the Central Bank of Nigeria was trying to move very cautiously. They're not really sure how this is going to work out in Nigeria. So they favored the banks to do the mobile payment. But over time, it's clear to everybody that uh, the bank have no business doing mobile payment. Why? Because all the liquidity that we're talking about is in the bank. So as a mobile payment operator like ourselves, every dollar that comes in is in the bank. So why will a bank, what's the incentive for a bank to be competing with us? But some banks got the license just because of what they were hearing in Kenya. They didn't want to lose out. They just wanted to be in the business. So some got the license, but it became clear that this is not something for the banks. The banks and mobile payment is a technology business. Is a technology business, an e-commerce business. There's so many things going on with mobile payment that the banks are not equipped to provide. So so that creates a little bit of slowdown initially in Nigeria market because of the very detailed, robust mobile payment framework. Now, so today, yes, we have the mobile payment license by Central Bank of Nigeria. We have the, approval to roll out, and there are about 21, 22 licensed providers in Nigeria, but only a few are active.
Okay. And one of them is you, basically.
We are leading the pack.
You're leading the pack. That's always good.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have other partners that, like, not just the banks, but, well, which is not
Yes.
really then a partner, but do you have other partners that were important?
Yes, definitely. One of our partner is Western Union.
Okay.
We're the mobile payment operator, the first mobile payment operator in Nigeria to connect directly to Western Union.
Oh, okay.
So what that means is that any money sent on Western Union to Nigeria today, you can receive it on our wallet in real time. And this came at the time when when you receive Western Union in Nigeria, you have to physically go to the bank to collect it. Not only that, to collect your Western Union from the bank, you have to have bank account with that bank. Now you have a situation whereby you know people have to have a bank account in that with the bank, and having bank account in Nigeria is not as simple as just registering online. You have to provide references. You have to provide references from those people who have account with them. So so it wasn't really working well. So our partnership with Western Union, we basically disrupt that. That is, you can receive Western Union on your mobile phone or online on our platform in real time. Then you decide what to do with it, whether you want to spend the money. Now we've created an incentive for you to even send the money to somebody on our platform, or you could withdraw the money to your bank account all without going to the bank.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So Western Union is one. We're also in partnership with a company called Clickatel. Clickatel is a South African company. They are aggregator for airtime. So instead of connecting to uh, mobile network operators individually, which is expensive, time consuming, at times you don't even know who is handling what. So we went through a company called Clickatel. Clickatel is funded by Sequoia Capital, by the way. It's a South African company, and so we in partnership with them, and that gives us access to provide airtime to all subscribers on all network in Nigeria. Recently, we also signed an agreement with a company called Transfato. Transfato is aggregating remittance globally, and so we're in partnership with them. We are yet to roll out. We are in partnership with a company called Sovereign Trust. Is an insurance is one of the biggest insurance company in Nigeria, and the problem we're solving for them is ability to collect premium payment uh, in a more efficient way. So we provided them uh, a branded cashless card which their subscribers can use to pay for premium, reducing fraud, reducing loss of money to virtually zero. So that is another company we're partnering with, and we partner with Nigerian Interbank Settlement. This is, if you're familiar with the concept of ACH, ability to move money from one bank account to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Nigerian Interbank Settlement is the company that facilitates that in Nigeria. So what that means is that we are plugged into the banking system in Nigeria. We can send money to any bank account. We can receive money from any bank account. So that's also one of our partnerships. We have over 5,700 merchants. Majority of them are online merchants. These are merchants that bring their own subscribers to the table. Some of them have hundreds, some of them have thousands, some of them have 10. So we see value in that. And also we have over 4,700 agents in Nigeria in different stages. We have the most trained agent network in Nigeria. I personally trained over 500 agents.
Wow.
Yes, in Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Port Harcourt. I flew over and I personally trained 500 agents, over 500 agents. Our our strategy at the time, because the knowledge of mobile payment was scarce at the time, nobody really understood how it works. So the strategy at the time was not just to recruit agents. When I trained those 500, I was training the trainers. So I gave them everything. I opened the hood for them, look under the hood. This is what happens when somebody you know, go press this on your mobile phone. This is what happens. I took them through the technical intricacies. I took them through the relationship. I took them how the communication goes through the towers. I took them this is not just about money. I really, you know, explain to them the technology behind it, the interrelationship with network operators and the banks, how they all work together. So I trained 500. The strategy was, if I impart the knowledge into these people, then they will go ahead and spread the knowledge. So today, we have those that I trained training others all over the nation. This is not happening with any other provider in Nigeria because they did not impart the knowledge, and so they're basically stuck. But in our case, we imparted the knowledge, and then they're now spreading the knowledge all over the nation.
I remember that in Mpessa's case, they actually had an external partner who trained the agents, and then they changed the entire system and trained them themselves in the end.
Exactly. So what we did is the reverse of what Mpesa did initially. There's no way you can bring our next. Remember, mobile money, when Mpesa started, mobile money was kind of new globally at the time. So there's no expert at the time. So Mpesa ideally will be the expert, but because they bought into this concept of, there's some expert coming from somewhere no, we are our own expert. There is no expert coming to Nigeria to tell us this is what we know about mobile payment. You might be expert in Kenya, but Nigeria is a totally different animal. So the way we see it is that experience is key. So based on our experience, we were able to train our agents. We gave them the license to be an agent. We also gave them the license to be an instructor. So while waiting for mobile payment to take off, they were making money as an instructor. So by creating stickiness, by creating a sense of purpose, they were making money, even though people were saying mobile money was not taking off at the time. Our agents were making money because they were training other agents. So so the value proposition was clear to them that if you don't make money on transaction, you could make money setting other people up as an agent. It's not all agents that are going to be successful. I mean, in order to be successful, now we now start talking about your own aggressiveness as a person, your business acumen, your ability to attract customers. There's no magic anywhere. So it's a numbers game. So what we did was we gave our agents opportunity to make money by doing transactions or opportunity to make money by training others. And that has worked very well for us in Nigeria.
So they were able to have actually two income streams, by
Yes.
training and by selling.
By selling, yes.
And so they were kind of incentivized to do both, which
Exactly.
kind of amassed knowledge in the system
At the same time.
and also new customers, new subscribers.
Exactly.
Wow.
As they train others, guess what? They were being asked a lot of questions. And so we gave them like a manual that they can refer to.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in the beginning, I made my phone, my text, my email available to them. Even at the training, if there's a question asked that you don't know how to answer, text me. I'll be on 24/7 to respond to you. Now, even though some of them did not take the offer, some of them that, but it gives them the confidence that they can go in front of the crowd and talk about mobile payment. And that really worked for them as well.
Wow. Okay. Sounds great. I have basically one last question to ask you.
Okay.
Basically, where do you see your company right now in Nigeria, like compared to others, or how successful is it? Because for me, it's very hard to judge from here. And where do you see it in the next couple of years?
Okay. So the first question is, where do I see our company in comparison to others in the market?
Yeah.
Okay. The short answer is we're leading. We're leading because this is our passion. See, some companies obtain the license because it's in vogue, but we obtained the license because, as a matter of fact, we went to central bank 5 years earlier. But at the time, Central Bank of Nigeria did not even know what we were talking about because we started providing e-commerce services at the time. So we knew that in order to move money from point A to point B, you have to have some kind of regulation guidance. So, so this is our passion. We believe that this really will work in Nigeria. So that sets us apart from our competitors. So in terms of where we are, we believe that we have the most knowledgeable agents in the market, we have the most service subscribers in the market, and we believe that at the end of the day, VTN is going to lead the market. There's no doubt in my mind at all that VTN is going to lead the market in Nigeria. In terms of where we hope to be in the next 5 years, we strongly believe that the financial services is going to be thoroughly disrupted in Africa to the extent that beyond recognition, in fact, in the next 5, 10 years, it's going to be difficult to even recognize the function of a bank. Already the banks are scratching their heads wondering what is going on because virtually all the services that they provide, we are providing it even better. The only thing we are not doing is, give out loan or, core banking services. No, we don't do that. But in terms of people being able to move money from one bank account to the other, from wallet to the other, we're doing it better than them. To receive Western Union, we're doing it better than them. Airtime, we're doing it better than them. Agency banking, we've created a whole new industry whereby you could put cash into your bank account without ever stepping into the bank. I mean, the banks are looking behind and thinking what is going on. So we believe that where we see ourselves to become a leader in the financial services, mobile payment provider in Nigeria, and yeah, basically that's what I'll say at this stage.
Well, sounds like a plan.
Thank you very much.
Sounds
Can I
like
ask you a question,
Yes,
if
sure.
it's possible? Can I get a copy of this audio?
Of course, yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
All
I
right.
can send it to you right
Please.
after. Definitely.
Okay. All right, great.
So like just for me, like to summarize, you said like just it won't take much more than a minute. You said value proposition is really important so that the customer actually really gets what he needs, not just some product that's like tailored from like a company standpoint, but really what is needed for the customer. You said that the distribution channel is quite important, like that the training of the agents is really important, the incentivization is quite important. You said the partner network is important, partnering actually kind of helping each other out, getting subscribers, actually building trust in the system.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the three main takeaways I've gotten. Would you agree
Wow,
with them?
you captured everything.
Well, not really. I have to listen to everything again, but that was like the main parts that like really shortly summarized that you've said. I found the interview to be very interesting for me. I really just read about Mpesa and everything, so it's quite interesting to have a very current and up-to-date update of the entire industry. And I wish you all the success in the world in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Are you hoping to replicate the model to other countries?
Well, Nigeria is the largest market in Africa. We've barely scratched the surface in Nigeria.
Okay.
So what that means is that if there are partners that want to take our model to other areas, we will support them. But for us, we really want to focus on Nigeria because there's so much opportunities in Nigeria. There's a lot of inefficiencies that mobile money can address, and we've barely scratched the surface. So for now, Nigeria is where we are.
It's probably also really difficult to replicate because all the markets in Africa are so different. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I got by the comparison between M-Pesa and Nigeria. Like Kenya and Nigeria, it's mind-boggling how different the markets are.
Oh, it's very different. Very different. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's totally different. Different sentiment. People do things differently. Even though it's the same Africa, but it's totally different. And that is why just looking at M-Pesa model and doing it in other countries, it's not going to work. You have to really come up with something that works in the market that you're targeting. And again, then also another point is, initially a lot of players thought that mobile payment is not about technology, it's about something else. I think we're proving them wrong that if you're not really in tune into the machinery of how things work and the sophistication of the people you're dealing with, interconnectivity with other service providers, you're just going to sit down there and expect people to come and put money on the wallet, and it's not going to happen. And so, we've proven that in the market that this is beyond moving money. You have to really have a reason. You forget about the money. The money will come when there's a need for people when there's a need for people to do business together, and then the need to send money to back up that transaction is what mobile money is. Whereas people think, a lot of people still believe that mobile money is about having a platform and then people take money from their bank account, put on it, and then start waiting for when they will be willing, when they will be, sending the money. No, it's not that simple at all.
That was actually a great final statement.
Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
It was great talking to you. I will finish my thesis in the end of July, and I will kind of make a condensed version, a condensed version of my finalized results, and I'd be very happy to send them to you if you're interested.
Oh, I'd be glad to take a look at it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
And I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
In 1993, I was in Portsmouth, England, doing my master's degree at the time. And so that was a long time ago. So I can understand the pressure you're under now to get this done.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of pressure. But thank you so much for taking the time. You took almost an hour out of your busy schedule. So I'm really thankful.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. Thanks a lot. I look forward to the audio. Thank you.
Yes, I will send it to you right away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.